Hello, Father Noel. Um, I appreciate this opportunity to share this experience of my life and where I find God in my life. I was a cradle Catholic. Uh, my parents were very devout. I went to Catholic grade school, high school, college, and graduate school. My Catholic faith was very important to me. You noticed I said was. I have always been a seeker of truth throughout my whole life. I asked why and never stopped asking why things are the way they are. And I pursued my faith to the point of I was very kept all the holy days and Sunday days of obligation. I was about as I was a Eucharistic minister, both in my church and in the hospital. I was on the spiritual life committee. I was a lector. I was involved in marriage encounter, and I served on the diocesan pastoral council. I was about as involved as a Catholic wife and mother as a woman could be. That said, at a point in my life, I found myself called out of that experience of a Catholic. I never felt as if I was leaving something so much as moving towards something larger, larger that the church itself, with all of the problems I had with it, and there were many, um, I could no longer see that as my home base. It was one of the home bases, if you will. Um, I think at this stage in my life, I would say that I would be comfortable in any temple, mosque, shrine, or church. I don't have any particular affiliation with any religion. I am not a practicing religious person. I'm one of those people that are castigated because we consider ourselves spiritual but not religious. And I don't have a problem with people thinking that. It doesn't matter to me what anybody thinks anymore. I had decided at some point in my life that I thought it would be great if I could be a teacher of religious education. And I started studying for my master's degree in religious studies. And before I could get to the end of it, I knew for certain that I could never do that because so much of what I was learning did not resonate as true to me anymore. Um, and it wasn't that it wasn't, I don't reject it as untrue per se. I just hold it very differently. I looked upon it as this affects my life in no way, shape, or form. Therefore, I'm going to um, not be concerned about it. I don't have any need to proselytize anybody or to convince somebody that my view of an experience of God is the correct one or the best one. I just have a firm belief that people need to find God in their own way. I Part of my spiritual journey, I was deeply drawn to the mystics, and I read them voraciously. And there even came a point when I thought, it occurred to me that, well, that's your journey, not mine. And I learned fairly early on that all of our journeys are completely unique and that it is a mistake to imitate anyone. So I just began listening very carefully to where I was feeling God speaking to me in my life. And like many people on the path, there arose so many synchronous events. You know, I can't even enlist all of them, but they were uh, one of those things where somebody gives you something and it's exactly what you needed at that time. So my life has been essentially following the prompts of the Spirit to the best of my ability whenever I hear it, whenever I feel strongly that I'm being guided in a particular direction. And what I'm learning at this stage of my life is to be committed to following that prompt immediately, not questioning it, even if it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense in the moment. So it's a journey of simply following my heart's desire wherever it leads me.
That makes perfect sense to me. You see, one of the things that I hear with this is there's, how I put it, you seem to have gone beyond faith to a point of knowing.
Well, there's a time for seeking and there's a time for finding. And many seekers don't stop to even assess what they've already found. And I did that in my life. I actually decided at one point to go through all of the doctrines and dogmas that had been inculcated in me since I was a young child. And I began to ask myself, are they true? And they were all sitting on a tabletop. And the ones that were not germane to my life, I literally knocked them off the table. They just fell off the table to the point that there was only one thing that I knew for absolutely certain, unwavering, unshakably knew that God is love, and those who abide in God abide in love, and God in them. That I knew to be true, and that is the core belief that directs my life. So I'm not going to argue with anyone about the veracity of different dogmas of different faiths. I believe they're all true to the extent that anything that can be said can be true. But like I started out with you, what they point to is more untrue than it's true because of everything that is left out. So I hold everything very gently. I don't reject anything outright, but I don't really claim anything other than God is love.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.